He knew what he can do before he even got in this ring. I looked at him face to face and I said, man, you gonna get this? He said, Canelo can't beat me, Tim.
Welcome back, fight fans.
Protect yourselves at all times. Listen to my commands. Touch them up.
Casual viewers came hoping for blood.
Are you ready to feel the Mexican power, Terence?
Dignitaries sought entertainment.
And let's show Netflix the real boxing.
And the purists longed for answers.
Can Bud Crawford pull the upset and become this era's GOAT?
Will there be a moment where Crawford realizes that he's in over his head, moving up to 168?
Alvarez commits to the right hand and lands.
It's gonna be a moment.
Not only is he not backing up from Canelo's power, but he may be doing more damage with his own in these exchanges.
True artistry is only recognized in hindsight. The weight and importance of such a monumental event can only be measured once the event
can only really be appreciated once the stadium empties, the crowds dissipate, and the heart rates drop.
I don't know how you can put words to describe what we watched.
Tonight he proved that he's the greatest boxer to ever live.
But that's not the whole picture. Let's step into the past, present, and future. This is the aftermath of 2025's fight of the decade between Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford. Welcome to a Motivia presentation.
Welcome to a Motivia presentation.
Let me tell you why boxing might be entering a golden age right now.
From the day it was announced, this felt like more than just a match. It was billed as the fight that could reshape American boxing. It carried the sense of closing a major chapter, not only in U.S. boxing, but in the sport worldwide.
In boxing, but boxing as a whole.
Maybe it's gonna be bigger, but look, boxing is always big and big and bigger and bigger and bigger.
With Fury versus Joshua still unresolved, and Gervonta drifting further from Shakur, this era risked fading into memory.
Rather than let this era fizzle into a distant memory,
Instead, Crawford and Turkey Ilčić made sure it ended with fireworks.
Viva
Mexico, cabrones!
One man set out to achieve the impossible.
Time undisputed champion in the male division.
The other to prove he was still untouchable.
He's a great fighter, like I say, he's no Canelo. Born ready.
Born ready.
Thank you. Thank you.
By fight week, any of the preformed criticisms or Madrimov doubts had been shut away.
Based on how Crawford looked at 54, do you think talk of him facing Canelo should stop?
That's ridiculous. That's why we have weight classes. Size does matter.
Canelo Crawford, obviously Terence just rocked up there. What do you make of his chances?
He have a great chance because of his heart, his talent, and also his game plan and his strategy.
At 168, a new battle-ready frame shifted opinions, tightening betting odds to near even.
Canelo Alvarez as he faced his toughest opponent to date, I believe.
Can you match him punch for punch like Golovkin?
He's just keeping up the tempo, throwing.
That's what's interesting to see. That they deserve respect. And instead of us telling them what they can do, let them show us what they can do.
There's a lot of unknown here. So anybody who tells you that they know, they're not telling you the truth because none of us know.
Max Kellerman was back, and the big fight feeling was here.
Because of Netflix, this will be the most watched fight, championship fight, in almost 50 years.
Legends had thrown in their 2 cents, and a dangerous confidence came from both men on stage.
But like I say, I need to be smart and do my job, and if the knockout comes, welcome.
I see you. You see I'm different.
I see you too.
You see I'm different than all the other ones.
No, I see you. No, you don't know different. You're nothing different.
I'm different.
And as the showdown neared, familiar faces filled the scene, yet something still felt missing. Crawford was there, smiling, relaxed.
You see, we'd seen Terence Crawford. He was feeling the moment, smiling, and a lot happier to be there than usual, but we hadn't seen Bud.
You gotta meet force with force.
You said you're like Kobe Bryant, and he played better angry. Do you fight better?
Yes, there had been an onstage scuffle in New York, but even the Piers Morgan interview didn't reveal the same man who once stared down Amir Khan like prey.
Everybody that they said that was smaller than, that they was bigger and stronger, you see what happened.
Nor did it resemble the fighter who took a swing at Jose Benavidez. is, or the Canelo Alvarez forced to strike back at Caleb Plant. And therefore, no signs of the Canelo Alvarez that was forced to retaliate against Plant.
Can you say 3 nice things about your opponent?
He's a great fighter. He's a great father. Cool dude.
Ultimately, you can construct hype, but you can't force hate. But on this occasion, from Crawford, the joviality and friendliness was somewhat of a Trojan horse, because the mean spirit was still there, and it was a split-second head tilt and target lock at the final presser that finally confirmed it.
When did you know that you were going to beat him?
When he signed the contract.
So after seeing Dana squirm a little,
TKO can't make those changes to the Ali Act. Will you still invest in the sport of boxing?
Listen, if you want to be an asshole, let's do it in private and we can do an interview.
and with the Jaron Ennis sparring whispers continuing to blur the lines.
I gotta ask you, people gonna kill me if I don't. How was the work?
The work was great. It's fun, sparring Canelo. Trying to pick his brain. He got I think he like 70 fights in. So I was picking his brain, having fun, and sharpening my tools, That's about it,
Yes, he got sparring with Boots Ennis to emulate that Terence Crawford style, but is that enough 2 sparring sessions to get his head around those quick switch instincts that Terence Crawford has?
The downpour of booze would only add fuel to the fire. And Fight Night was about to tell a completely different story. Embracing the hostility with some high-level trolling saw Crawford pull off a Mexican-themed entrance.
Soy un hombre muy honrado que me gusta lo mejor. A mujeres no me falta ni el...
A nostalgic nod to Floyd Mayweather, who used to don Mexican colors and a sombrero.
He wants to engage them in a negative way to derive energy from it, to show he's not intimidated.
Before beating some of the nation's most beloved fighters.
We got everything from the middle of the gold up. It's going to be good.
They say history repeats itself, and it's a statement never more true than within the confines of the sweet science.
He said, well, if Ray Leonard could beat Marvelous Marvin Hagler, then Terence Crawford can beat Canelo Alvarez. He said, same equation. Get in, get out. Get in, get out. Yeah. Over and over and over. Right. That's what Ray did so effectively against Hagler. And it frustrated Hagler. And the more you frustrate the opponent, the better off you are.
Can Bud Crawford pull the upset that generations from now, this generation will say, I don't care who you bring. That's the best guy I've seen.
The fight started exactly the way we expected, a cagey opener with a few early glimpses of success. A second-round smile for me was an early indicator that Crawford had a little more pop than he expected. And while Saul's shots were certainly heavier, Bud was never there long enough for him to start teeing off.
He was looking for looping shots, and when you can't get your jab established, it's hard to land your power shot.
Fight, come to have it 3-0 because he gave the first to Crawford, which Crawford.
Poker faces were in full effect. Yep and nope gestures as the punches rained in, reminiscent of the first Golovkin fight.
Right hand. Canelo shakes his head. That usually means he got hit.
As Canelo shakes his head, Golovkin shakes his head back and said, well, what about that?
We know that Crawford is the sharper boxer. What we haven't seen yet is what happens if and when Canelo lands something hard upstairs.
But as the minutes passed, it was Crawford putting the final stamp on every exchange.
But he may be doing more damage with his own in these exchanges.
And when he needed to dig in there and exchange punches, he was not only willing to do that, he was successful in achieving that.
And where the Nebraskan's mean streak was disputed in the buildup,
Crawford look very comfortable right now.
It was the attitude of the Mexican called into question when it mattered most.
Teddy Atlas would always say, Canelo is looking to be friends, and Crawford is not looking to be friends.
It looked like Canelo Alvarez almost wanted to walk off at one point.
Yeah, I mean, he was frustrated, and it is frustrating to try and fight a guy, and you want to fight, but this guy's moving well.
Ni te calientes ni que desesperes, así al pasito, güey. Es difícil, es buen peleador también él.
Moving past the halfway stage, the trade-off was glaringly obvious. The more Crawford gained momentum, the more Canelo lost patience.
Canelo did like some weird leg movement, and he looked like he was hurt in some way of injury.
And that childlike smile and masterful rhythm, to anyone who's watched Terence in the past, was all too familiar.
That's what boxing's about, people. It's about this. Strategy. That's what he had.
I think it's more than no nonsense.
Round 9 caught fire, and while Crawford never really deviated from his southpaw stance, he never needed to, because the success was coming.
You stepped a little more to Canelo than Floyd, right?
Nobody's ever hit Canelo like that before, ever.
Yeah.
Nobody.
Moments of Alvarez's desperation were met with laser focus, as Bud stayed within his own boundaries, refused to take any unnecessary risks.
I just beat the out of Canelo, man! He is so much.
A fleet-footed, sharp-shooting, in-and-out display, capped off, as always, by an unbreakable spirit and relentless engine. A night where Terence Crawford once again defied the odds to make the face of boxing look distinctly normal.
This has been a masterful performance.
By unanimous decision, the Fighting Pride of Omaha, Nebraska, USA, and new Ring Magazine, and undisputed.
Art in fistic form from a man who finally gets his flowers as one of the best to ever do it.
This generation will say about you what the last one said about Floyd and what generations ago they said about Sugar Ray Robinson. They'll say no one could have beaten our guy.
As far as